Morning, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone had a nice weekend. Hope everyone is having a nice start to the week. We're going to break down the forecast here as we head into your Monday and through the upcoming work week. Again, unfortunately, it remains fairly quiet. Not a whole lot to talk about. Well, we do have some big temperature swings to talk about, especially today and into the day tomorrow. Thankfully, again, for some of our friends off to the south and east, no hurricanes to worry about, at least in the short term. We do have a couple tropical storms that are kind of churning across the open ocean out in the Atlantic, but again, nothing threatening the mainland here as we head over the course of the next several days. Go ahead and just jumping in and diving into looking at some of our weather headlines. Today is going to be a day with some high fire danger. Again, dry conditions, especially with how dry it's been over the past 8 weeks or so, with some breezy conditions. That's going to lead to some elevated fire danger. So again, any fires that start could get out of hand pretty quickly. So again, today's a no burning day for much of the state. The cold front will be sweeping through the state today into this evening. That's going to lead to the breezy conditions. It's also going to lead to a cold night tonight, especially for the western half of the state. Coldest night of the season thus far. And again, temperatures could be down into the 20s and low 30s for many areas. So we'll take a look at that here in just a little bit. And then that cold front will set the stage for a much cooler Tuesday, much more comfortable conditions, I think, as we begin the month of October for the day tomorrow, with temperatures generally sitting in the 70s for most areas. Unfortunately, it's short-lived as we continue to see the forecast favor more above-average temperatures. And so, again, Tuesday is going to be the cool day, the day we want to kind of enjoy, because then after Tuesday, things do warm up again pretty quickly, seeing those temperatures jump back above average. So right now in Lincoln, again, plenty of sunshine as we start our Monday, just a couple minutes past the top of the hour. Right now it's 60 at the airport here in Midtown Lincoln, a few degrees better at 64 degrees, just a light south wind right now at 6 miles an hour, and dew points are in the lower 50s. Temperatures across the Lincoln Metro generally sit in the 60s. Again, mid-60s right now here in Midtown Lincoln. Warm spot I see on there is 67, kind of in far southern parts of the Lincoln Metro. But again, generally in the 60s as we start our day across the state. Again, also generally in the lower to middle 60s. A few spots in the far west and southwest, seeing temperatures in the mid-upper 50s to start the day right now. Ainsworth is the warm spot. They're at 67 degrees to start the day. Dew point temperatures anywhere from the low to mid-20s for parts of the Panhandle to the low to mid-50s. Again, these are not all that high, but with the cold front that's going to be pushing in, we're going to see even drier air push through. So again, these dew point numbers are going to be falling even further than where they're at now. And again, with those low dew point temperatures, that's going to set the stage tonight with clear skies and lighter winds to see those temperatures really drop, especially for the western sections of the state. And again, as much as I love this graphic and love to show it, today's probably going to be the last day that we do talk about it as we wrap up the month of September. Really no need for it as we head into the month of October. Again, you can see dew points over the course of the next week. Not going to be an issue for us. So again, we'll go ahead and sunset this graphic after today and start October with something else. Winds, you can already see where that cold front is. It's getting pushed through areas like Ainsworth, Thedford, beginning to push through North Platte and Imperial, and you can see becoming breezy behind that front. Out ahead of that front, winds are out of the south at around 5 to 15 miles an hour. Behind that front, winds are out of the west and northwest at around 10 to 20 miles an hour, and already seeing some gusts this morning up to around 30 miles an hour. That's going to be the trend as we head through the day today. Could see those winds gusting 25 to 35, maybe even close to 40 miles an hour at times. Behind that front, I think the highest wind gust today across northern and western sections of the state, but that will be something, again, that's going to continue to drive that high fire danger. We do see any fires, again, they could spread very, very quickly with how dry things are out there right now. Satellite and radar picture, again, very quiet. There's just a few clouds out there. If you look at the visible satellite imagery, you can see a few of those clouds along the leading edge of that cold front. So, again, that's basically all we're going to see today. If we zoom out, look at a more regional view of the visible satellite imagery, again, not a whole lot happening across much of the Midwest and much of the Central Plains. And that's going to be the case as we head through the day today. So, again, back at the radar and satellite imagery, not much there. Regionally, you look at it, again, really not much much there. Nationally, thankfully things much quieter than they were late last week and into the weekend. Still have some showers across parts of, West Virginia into Pennsylvania, up into the New England area. Again, a few showers down across parts of Florida, but otherwise things are fairly quiet across much of the country. If you look at the weather alerts, still have some flood watches across parts of Virginia. We also have heat advisories across parts of California, some excessive heat warnings there in the desert southwest. In the Pacific Northwest, up across parts of Washington State into Idaho and western Montana, we have some frost advisories as well as some freeze alerts in those locations. Across much of the Midwest, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, into parts of Minnesota. Red flag warnings, though, are currently in place. Again, those run through late this evening. Again, dry and breezy conditions will lead to those elevated fire conditions across the area. But check out Skycast again through the day today. That cold front continues to barrel through the state. High temperatures out ahead of that front will be awfully warm. But again, temperatures will drop pretty quickly and cool off pretty quickly behind that front as we head through this evening and then into the overnight hours tonight. Again, a few clouds along the leading edge of the front. Otherwise, it's mainly clear and quiet. It will be breezy as that front moves through. I think especially as we head through this evening, but that wind will die down a little bit as we head through the overnight hours into early on your Tuesday. Mainly clear to start the day on Tuesday. It will be cold, especially for some parts of central and western Nebraska to start the day Tuesday. And then as we head through the day on Tuesday, look for sunny to mostly sunny skies, dry conditions across the area. A few clouds kind of drifting in from the north, but otherwise, again, very quiet conditions. Then into Wednesday, more of the same. There'll be a few clouds, but we'll call it mostly sunny, dry, a little bit breezy with winds turning back out of the south. That's going to pump those temperatures back up. 7-day precipitation potential. Again, those areas that saw some really just incredibly heavy rain in the southeast with Hurricane Helene last week. Thankfully, at least get a little bit of a break, not much moisture as we head over the course of the next 7 days. But again, unfortunately, you get west of the Mississippi, there's really not much of anything as we head over the course of the next week, and that's not what we'd like to see. Again, here in Nebraska, we're not expecting any rainfall as we head over the course of the next week. Again, we would like to see some. We're going to finish September, at least in Lincoln, as the fourth driest, I think, September on record. Just 0.2 of an inch of rain this month. And again, if you go back to August, we only had 1.5 inches. So there's been less than 2 inches of rain over the last 2 months. I believe we saw more than 2 inches of rain on the last day of July. So again, it's been awfully dry for us over the past 8 weeks or so. As far as the Storm Prediction Center severe weather outlook, again, today is probably the last day we'll show these unless we have something crop up, but we'll go ahead and probably sunset these graphics too as we head into October. But no severe weather expected across the country today. Could see a few isolated thunderstorms across parts of Miami, again, across parts of the Carolinas to Virginia, and then across parts of the desert southwest, Arizona, New Mexico, into southern Colorado for the day tomorrow. Again, not expecting anything. And then also again for the day on Wednesday, not expecting anything across the area either. Highs today, anywhere from the low 70s in the far west to the low 90s here in the southeast. Lincoln, we're going to say 91 degrees for a high today, 86 in Grand Island, 78 in North Platte, and then right around 70 degrees for Scottsbluff. So again, as that cold front marches across the state, again, we will see those temperatures begin to drop just a little bit, and again, then much cooler as we head into the day tomorrow. But tonight, it's going to be cold, again, especially for parts of the Sandhills into the Panhandle, with lows in the upper 20s to right around 30 degrees for many locations, 31 in North Platte, 32 in Sidney, as well as Scottsbluff, 29 in Alliance. We'll go low 40s, though, for the Tri-Cities there in central Nebraska. Here in Lincoln, 49 for a low. That's close to where we should be for this time of year. The normal low is 48. So, again, right around where we should be. But, again, certainly cold for parts of western Nebraska. Again, if you have any sensitive plants that you have outside, again, you want to get those covered up. We currently don't have any frost advisories or freeze warnings or freeze watches or anything in those areas. That may come as we head through the day today. But, again, currently none of those alerts are in place. But, again, if you have the sensitive vegetation, you want to cover that up or bring it inside, at least for the night tonight. Again, it will be a cold night. And, again, we'll see likely some areas across the Sandhills see their first breeze of the season. High temperatures then on Tuesday, much more comfortable. Again, our normal high on Tuesday is 74 to start the month of October, so a lot closer to normal for us here in Lincoln. 72 is what we're going to go with, same in Grand Island and Hastings, and then also 72 in North Platte for the day on your Tuesday. Tuesday into Wednesday, not quite as cold. We'll see those lows generally in the mid to upper 40s to right around 50 degrees for most locations Wednesday afternoon. Unfortunately, we see things bump right back up, mid 80s to even low 90s across the state for the day on your Wednesday. We'll go 86 in Lincoln. Again, the record for Wednesday, let me look it up here. Just want to make sure I've given you the right number here. The record for Wednesday is 94. So again, you're within 10 degrees of the record there. You're within spitting distance. Would be one of the warmer October 2nds that we've had here in Lincoln. Low temperatures then Thursday morning, low 40s to low 50s from west to east across the state. Thursday afternoon, another front kind of pushes through, leads to some cooler conditions for the northern half of the state into western Nebraska with 70s for those areas. Out ahead of the front, still looking at low 80s and then to near 90 degrees for areas like Falls City in the far southeast, 85 in Lincoln, 81 in Grand Island, 78 in North Platte for the day on your Thursday. 7-day forecast looks like this. Again, unfortunately, it's continued to be headlined by above average temperatures and dry conditions. Again, Tuesday is the only day where we see temperatures that are even close to normal, just a few degrees below normal, but the mid 80s Wednesday, Thursday, low 80s Friday, and then back to the mid to upper 80s for Saturday and Sunday. Again, Huskers hosting Rutgers on Saturday. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff in the afternoon, and it does look like it'll be a pretty warm one, 87 degrees for the day on Saturday. And again, dry conditions over the course of the next week as well, with sunny to mostly sunny skies just about every day. 10-day forecast for select cities across the state. Again, you can see today warm for a lot of us, a little bit cooler in the west. Tuesday, cooler for everyone, but then generally things, again, are back above average and staying that way as we head over the course of the next week to 10 days. And then, unfortunately, again, this is the precipitation forecast over the course of the next 10 days, and we are blanked, zeros across the board, again, over the next week to 10 days. So, and again, not expecting really any moisture to impact the state for the next week to 2 weeks. The 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, again, from the Climate Prediction Center. No change in this either. Would really love to see a pattern change. This takes us October 7th through October 13th. And again, better than average odds of continuing to see above average temperatures during that time frame and continuing to see below average conditions through that time frame as well. So again, a little bit to like, very little bit to like in that forecast, especially with the cooler weather for the day tomorrow. Again, I know farmers out in the fields appreciate the dry weather during harvest. We would really, really love to see some moisture, though, getting to the point where we really, really, really need something. Again, less than 2 inches of rain over the course of the last 2 months for us is not a good deal. So, all right, well, I appreciate everyone for tuning in, watching. As always, again, keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online, for all of your latest headlines, news, weather, and sports. Again, until next time, hope everyone has a nice Monday and a nice start to their work week.